Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, we unlocked new technologies, which include new nuclear reactors. And to take advantage of those nuclear reactors, we now have magnetoplasma dynamic thrusters, which I did look these up, and they use the Lorentz force, which is the force on a charged particle in an electromagnetic field, to accelerate an ionized gaseous material, right, a plasma, to incredibly high velocities. The exhaust velocities that research indicates that they can achieve is somewhere over 100 kilometers per second, which is like 25 times faster than the exhaust velocities for liquid-fueled rockets, which is why they have very high specific impulse. You get a lot of bang for your buck with that fuel, being able to accelerate it to that type of velocity. The downside, as I mentioned before, is they require an enormous amount of power. In the real world, the thrusters that have been tested have like an input power of between 100 and 500 kilowatts, which is a lot, especially for a spacecraft. So, yeah, that's the one downside. But if they can sort out the power problems, they would be probably very useful for heavy cargo and manned vessels. Because of the amount of thrust that you can get out of them compared to ion thrusters, which also have, as I mentioned, similar specific impulses, but their issue is that you just don't get a lot of oomph from them. So it's kind of, when you need very fast delta V changes, say trying to capture into a planetary orbit after, an interplanetary transfer, if you have a lot of mass that you need to move quickly, it's difficult with ion thrusters. Well, you can't really get it done with ion thrusters. You need to have a very light payload for an ion thruster to be able to do that sort of stuff. All right, so after that, I designed a new propulsion module that utilizes these new thrusters, and I actually looked at the numbers, and the new propulsion module that I designed actually has very similar thrust capabilities, actually a little bit more thrust than the current propulsion module on the Longbow, and it has significantly lower mass. So that means that propulsion module we designed is probably going to be going up to replace the old cryogenic propulsion system on the Longbow. So we're going to be tossing that, and we're going to be installing our brand new magnetoplasma dynamic thrusters on that particular vehicle. Probably, also be sending up a resupply to replenish its RCS fuel and to replenish its life support supplies, so that it is ready for a new crew and a new mission. So that's going to be the plan. But for now, since we have a transfer window open for Joule, I designed a unmanned probe that utilizes the new propulsion system to fly out to Joule. Got that launched, and that is now in outside the Kerbal sphere of influence and is ready for a transfer burn to Joule. So let's go ahead and jump on over to our Joule probe and go ahead and get that burn done, because I have not done that yet. That should be you, right? Joule probe, yes. Let's fly it. Now, this is requiring a 9-minute long burn. Well, isn't that convenient? It kept the, I was figuring I was going to have to reapply that maneuver node, but no, it's ready to go. Okay. I'm actually going to go ahead and tell MechJeb. I'm going to feed the telemetry into the computer and tell the computer to fly the burn. That reactor is on, right? Core of the reactor is offline. Ooh, so we're going to have about 2 seconds to get that reactor up and running. Or this burn isn't going to work. Start the reactor. Get it going. Available power is at maximum. And there is our brand new magnetoplasma dynamic thruster. I love the way they look. That's another advantage to these particular engines and why I like them so much. I think I misnamed the mod these are from. These are from the near future propulsion mod, if I remember correctly. I think I said something else last time. Alright, so, this burn is going to be going a while. Now, can I do physics warp while we're accelerating? No, we can't. Alright. Well, let me just take a look at things. Electric charge is increasing. Good. It's kind of leveled out there. Lithium is fine. Oh my. Uranium is fine. What I'll probably do after this burn is done is go ahead and shut the reactor down again, because we should be able to run the rest of the probe off of these solar panels, and there's no reason to waste the enriched uranium in the reactor while we're just coasting out to Joule. So, and also I have gone ahead and launched another one of these, basically an identical copy of one of these that is going to be used for the next unmanned mission, which is going to be a low pass of Kerbal, the sun. I want to try and get to less than 6 million meters of altitude from Kerbal, and hopefully not burn up. Yes. I'll have the reactor off, so we won't have to deal with the reactor's heat. But hopefully the delicate components, like the solar panels and everything, are not going to burn up, because that would be bad. Alright, we're about halfway through this burn. Now, I thought about just going ahead and pausing this while the burn runs, but I think well, I might. Okay. We're at the halfway point of the burn right now. So, what I'll probably do is go ahead and pause right here, and then I'll be back once the burn is just about done. So, just a sec. Okay. Burn is going to finish in about 25 seconds. Now, remember what I was saying? That the next mission is going to be a low pass of the sun. Well, after checking some things, I have changed my mind. Because in our transfer window planner, we have an open transfer window right now to Ilu. So it is the best time to go ahead and take advantage of that. So that is what we're going to be doing instead. All right. So let's go ahead. Now that this is done, let's shut that reactor down. Deactivate the reactor. We should still be fine for electric charge, which we are. Good. And let's go ahead and head back to the Space Center. I didn't even check that thing's trajectory to make sure that it was okay. I'll get to that here in a minute. Any further adjustments are going to be made using RCS. All right. So, I should have named this the Kerbal probe. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and fly that. Okay. So, here we are, launched and ready to go. Okay, so we need to plan our departure. Again, 1,252 meters per second. We're going to go ahead and add a maneuver. I want to set our prograde to 1252. And there we are. Maybe just adjust the timing a little bit to make sure that we're just throwing ourselves pretty much in the same direction so we get the best advantage off of that. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the computer and tell it to execute. There's going to be a lot of letting the computer do the calculations for these. Primarily just for time's sake. And I could figure it out with the maneuver node planner, but with the maneuver node editor. But, you know, I could be sitting here for 10 minutes just messing around with the various handles on the maneuver node when I can just let the computer sort it out for me. When the maneuvers are fairly straightforward. When I'm sitting there trying to, you know, seat of the pants something, then, you know, I'll be doing everything manually. But for these basic maneuvers, nah, we just let the computers take care of it. There we go. We're going to empty that tank, and then we'll dispose of it and let it fly around interplanetary space for a while. It'll be fine. Now, Elu is out there. And it actually ducks inside of Joule's orbit, much like Pluto does. In our system, and it is also off, you know, on an inclined orbit. So that's going to make things interesting. All right, there we are. Good. Ditch it. Push us away. All right, activate those engines. And let's see if we can get our maneuver set up. All right, set as target. We want to do a home and transfer. Create the node. Let's see what we got. Oh, must be in the same sphere of influence. Right, we gotta actually exit the sphere of influence. That's fine. Let's warp out there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, done. Maneuver planner. Home and transfer. Create the node. Let's see what we've got. Node in 2 years. 64 days. It's, right there. Okay, that's not exactly what I was expecting. But you know what? If it works, it works. Alright, so we've got a little while to go before that node is ready, and it's going to cost us 1,863.4 meters per second, which is well within the capabilities of this particular engine. So let's go ahead and flip us around a little bit. Just to make sure that our solar panels get good exposure. Alright. So we'll just leave that maneuver node there, and we'll come back to it later. Why is our electric charge way down? Okay. Well, that was interesting. Go ahead and extend that antenna. Just so we have it. And our electric charge is coming back to normal. Alright. Excellent. I could fire up the reactor for a second, but it's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. All right. Let me just switch over to the Joule probe. Interplanetary probe 1. Wait a minute. Weren't you the one... Unless this isn't what I'm thinking it is. Ah, yes, this is just an upper stage that happens to still be operational. Okay, no problem. Back to Space Center then. I thought it might have been the probe that we sent to Duna that I thought I had parked that isn't there anymore. I thought maybe it had an interaction with Ike that maybe kicked it back into interplanetary space, but no. No, it must have just crashed into Ike at some point. Unfortunate. Alright, I want to go ahead and jump back onto the Joule probe because I want to fine-tune our interaction with Joule. Get that done here while we are a ways out yet, because you want to make these adjustments as far out as you can, because they require far less thrust to make. Alright, here we are, Joule probe. Let's tell it to orient itself prograde. Just so I kind of know which way we're pointed. Alright. Excellent. Turn the RCS on. Alright, electric charge is good. What the... Oh, okay. It just took a minute to load. That was weird. Okay, so I want to focus to Duna, Ike, Dres, Joule. Do I not actually have an encounter? We are very close, but no, we do not actually have an encounter. Well, that's not good. Okay, let's just see if I start making some slight adjustments. Is that getting smaller? No, that's getting, Okay, I'm on a weirdly inclined orbit. Separation. Well, that number's getting smaller. Alright, let's see if... rather than actually doing stuff here, let's set up a maneuver node so I can actually see a better view of what large adjustments are going to do. Okay, that's... That improves a close approach, but does not get me an encounter. That gets me an encounter with something else. That does get me an encounter. Alright, that's a 3-minute burn in 16 days. Alright. I'm gonna have to do it. Start the reactor. It's a good thing I have tons and tons of Delta V on this thing. Alright, so that's going to be 3 minutes. That's not terrible. I have to remember that I have another burn on the other vehicle that I need to do. That is 2 years away. So I can't let too much time go by. And also, I'm going to need to figure out if we start at Joule and we want to come back to Kerbin. It's a long time out. Though there are some spots here that are not bad in terms of Delta V. So we can find a route back probably at any point that we'll be able to swing, as long as I don't burn, that I keep about 6,000 to 7,000 meters per second of Delta V left. Once we're at Joule. So I'd like to do some flybys of some of Jules' moons. Specifically, Lathe would be good at a minimum. So, I want to be slightly careful about how much I burn. But capture shouldn't be too tough. If I can maneuver it in such a way that I can use one of Jules' moons to break me using a gravity assist, that would be great. That would be great. I don't have a ton of monopropellant left, though. Okay, so I gotta be kind of careful about that. Alright, so that's done. Do I have an encounter? I actually do have an encounter. Alright, good. But it is not an ideal encounter. We are way off. If I were to add a maneuver and say that's 3 years away, we have a circularization at this particular point of 1400 meters per second. Okay, that's fine. Let's see if I can make this better. Let's see if I can make this better. Alright, let's orient prograde. Alright. Let's just, I don't have infinite RCS to mess with, but let's just start playing around with the RCS controls, and let's see what we get. Okay, so that brings us into more of a polar orbit. I'd rather not. Alright, let's see if I adjust. That doesn't really seem to be doing anything. Alright. Is it? No, we're gonna need some pretty serious thrust to push down into that system. Alright. What if I were to schedule another burn? Just another burn. Let's see. In 44 days. Just put it right about there. Alright. If I were to schedule another burn and I wanted to say push that down like that. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay, there we are. Let's see. Let's bring that in. Let's see. This. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is not what I want to do right there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's see. What direction do I actually want to be approaching Joule from? I think I want to be approaching like this. The moons are orbiting in this direction, so I want to kind of come in from here, and so we're going to be orbiting in that direction. All right. That is what I want to do right there. Can I bring myself in? Not like that. Not like that. More like this. Try and stay in the plane of those orbits as much as I can. Good. Oh, we're off the plane a little bit. Well, I could do a plane change maneuver. Once we're there and captured. No, I don't want to do it while we're captured. I think this will be about as good as we're going to get. Alright, go ahead and execute it. Turn the RCS off, please. Okay. It's 44 days, which still leaves us plenty of time with the other vehicle. Now, unfortunately, I think that for today, my time is going to be somewhat limited. So I'm probably not going to be able to do as long of an episode as I would normally like to do. Maybe if I have more time, I will, over the course of the week, I'll maybe do another little extra bonus episode. But I will have to see. Just kind of how the schedule worked out. Because then what we'll do next is, while we're waiting for the ELU probe, which I actually need to go and rename, the ELU probe to get to its maneuver node. What we'll do is we'll launch, I'll launch another one of these to do the low fly of Kerbal. And then I'll go ahead and fly the mission to replace the propulsion module on the longbow and resupply the longbow and get that ready for a new crew. So there we are. And we are on a good encounter. Very, very good. Took a few extra burns to get it done, but there we are. Sweet. Alright, so what I'm probably going to go ahead and do is end this episode here, because this is a good stopping point. Next episode, what we'll do is I'll get that solar or Kerbaler probe launched. Well, I'll probably get it launched before I record, and then we'll just do all the maneuvers to get it where it needs to be. And then we'll go ahead and get the resupply and new propulsion module for the longbow launched and ready, and then probably perform that rendezvous and get that all done. And yeah, then maybe if I still have time, we'll do the maneuver node for the ELU rendezvous, get that all taken care of, And yeah, we'll be in a pretty good spot at that particular point. And actually, once that maneuver has been done, this probe will be very close. Very close. Well, it'll probably be a year out still, but a lot closer than it currently is. Once we're actually in the sphere of influence, we can make these adjustments. Try to set it up so that we can get into the plane of the moon's orbits, so that we can then start doing transfers. I'd love to try to see if I can figure out how to get an encounter with some of these without doing the full circularization. And maybe use these, because if I can come in from behind Lathe and get it to fling... Actually, no, we want to come in inside and run in front of it, and then have it slingshot us backwards like this to burn off velocity. That could work. But yeah, I would need to see if I could figure out how to do that. Depends on where it's going to be when we get there. So yeah, here's what it is. Okay, but yeah, we're going to stop here. And then if I can get another extra episode in during the course of this week, I will go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll be back at the normal time, and hopefully I will have more time at that time. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.